There is quite a bit going on here.
Yeah, what is this? Some of you old-time friends of Bunjie might recognize that as a Twilight DLX scope from Excalibur. Only goes out at 60 yards. Nice big reticles. Nice spread between the reticles so you can tell what you're doing. Big numbers. My eyes can see what I'm doing. Only goes out to 60 yards, but so does the backyard. So does the 60-yard backyard, right? So it should work good with that. It's also an illuminated scope. This is a throwback. They don't make these anymore, and I really, really like them. I'm not a speed ring scope guy, but you can see by the condition of the crossbow workbench, I don't have a lot of free time. I'm trying to make 31 videos in 31 days here, right? Plus I have a full-time job, right? So like a lot of people, we got all these things pulling on our time. So I threw this scope on here, got some good eye relief. Actually had to put a plate on here, which I had on hand, which is a Weaver, because this is a Weaver style rail on the SWAT X1 on the Patriot. Weaver style rail. This turns it into a Picatinny rail, and I was able to mount the scope on these two things, tighten them down. This scope already had the rings on it. This was on Bunjie for years. I love this scope. I have two more of those. I tend to buy a lot of things that I like, and I thought at one time I never wanted to be without a Twilight DLX, so I bought 3 of them. I got 3 of them on hand. I've sold some over the years. They're just a great, great scope for what they are. Only goes up to 410. I shoot a heavier arrow. I'm going to be shooting primarily out of this crossbow in the backyard here to sight it in. I'm going to be shooting the coral snakes. Ooh, these are the Black Eagle executioners that I cut down to 19 inches. But this beautiful arrow shoots very well out of the Patriot. I sighted them in with it before. I took the Oracle X off of there because I have it on the Hydra, the Hybrid-X from Excalibur, got it on here. For sighting it in and just seeing if my strings and cables worked. This is quick and easy, and I can sight the scope in like 3 or 4 shots probably, and get it so I can shoot in the backyard and shoot with it and everything and be happy with it. Because I want to try out the reason we're not here to talk about coral snakes, and we're not even here to talk about the SWAT X1. No, we are not. We're here to get these out of the way so we can talk about deep power, baby. Deep power, right? Think less, hunt more. I'm all for that. 666. I don't know if I'm all for that. I don't know what that's there for. But nonetheless, these are arrows made in China. The company reached out to me and said, hey, can we send you some cool arrows to test? And would you do that? Would you make some videos? And I'm like, yeah, I will test your arrows and make videos. You found the right guy for that job, because that's what I like to do. I like to play around with the arrows and make videos, right? So that's what I do. 100% carbon. I'm a carbon arrow guy. 20-inch arrows, which is perfect for the SWAT X1. I don't know what kind of... It says arrows, inserts, field points, broadheads, and lighted nocks, and it doesn't have these checks, so I don't think that stuff's in here, but it does have an arrow-looking box. I've already taken the liberty of cutting the tape off of it, so we are now opening it, however, for the first time. And look inside. Oh, what a nice box. Fold that back. Ooh, nice, crisp, brand new cardboard. But these veins look like they might work. The SWAT X1's a little finicky, right? Doesn't like putting just anything down the barrel. These nocks look like they will work out of the SWAT X1. The SWAT X1 is not finicky about nocks so much. I mean, you got to make sure you put them in right. You got to make sure you line them up. You've got to make sure that you are using the right nocks on any crossbow, but it should work well with these. I'm going to get you some close-ups on this just to show you what we got. Oh, it does have broadheads. So in this package, we got the 6 arrows, right? We've got additional inserts, aluminum-looking inserts, and we've got non-lighted nocks. Wow, and some field points, and they look like they're 150 grain field points. I'm a 150 grainer kind of guy. I don't know if you knew that. These are broadheads. Broadheads that I probably won't use, but they look as good as any other broadheads, and there are 3 of them in there. That's pretty cool. It comes with field points, and it comes with more inserts and more nocks. That's pretty cool. But it has what appear to be lighted nocks on there, and it's got a little button. If we push that button, we'll have, Genevieve's going to get a kick out of these. Wow. These are a crescent, half moon, something like that. style nock, I would describe it as. And but the green Genevieve will love. They will work out of the SWAT if I can get them down to barrel, if the veins line up, and they appear to do. Oh, you can turn them. They're like a bird coyote. You can turn them in here. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. And I can turn it so it lines up, because it's got to line up, or on any crossbow. You got to make sure they're lined up properly. Don't put them in there, because those little pointy things coming off of there, if those little fingers hit the string this way, it'll shear your string right off, and that's one of the reasons people dry fire. I don't know if they realize that, but that's a fact. So this, I can line it up, but it has a little switch. A little switch. Boy, that's an intricate little piece of technology right there. But that's bright. That is a pretty bright light. I do like it for the greens. I'm a HD orange guy in the Burnt Coyote Luminox, but these look pretty cool. Now, we're going to weigh them. We're going to weigh them and find out what they weigh, because we need to know that, right? That's important. And will it fit down the barrel of the SWAT? Oh, yeah. That's going to go. It goes right down to the string. But, yeah, that fits right in that barrel. I'm excited. Man, we're going to be able to shoot these. We'll take these out. We have 6 of them. Let's weigh them, get a feel for how much they weigh, and then let's go shoot them in a 60-yard backyard. Check this out. These are the arrows, right? You got the logo on there, Deepower. They are .003, and they are plus or minus .006. So these are not like the straightest arrows of all time, but they are going to be adequate for most purposes, for most hunters in the backyard. You can get into real straight in the straightness .001s, but as I've kind of commented before, not everybody agrees that .001 is the only way to go. If you're a Raven shooter, high-end Raven shooter, right? People swear that the .003s are awesome arrows. So you can get a .003 that is an awesome arrow. Now, this is plus or minus .006. These are not the high-end arrows. These aren't custom arrows. These are mass-manufactured arrows. But I do want to show you this beautiful little nock and how slick this is. I'm just going to put my finger. There's a little, if you look right there, there's a little button. Hopefully you can see that good. We'll get it to where you can see it, but there's a little button in there, right? A little switch, little thing sticking out that's going to make contact with the string when we fire it. And that string is going to push that in, and it's going to light up like that, lights up all slick like that. And then we can just sit here and use our fingernail after we find our deer, find our arrow, we can turn it off like that. That's pretty slick. I am very impressed to be able to make something this small, this minute, this miniature, that works that well, that's that bright. The veins are nice long veins. When you're outside in the sun, hitting down on them a little bit, they will straighten out, I am sure. And out of the SWAT, they won't make much difference. But I think we can probably shoot these pretty safely and be happy with what we do. This is a little baggie that I have not opened, but it's got all of the nocks in it. It comes with non-lighted nocks, your regular nocks, which is cool, plastic nocks. And you can see that these are crescent shaped as well. Pretty good style capture style nock, I think. We've got the aluminum inserts and a bunch of field points. We'll weigh those in just a second. But check out these broadheads that came with it. I'm not going to switch from my chosen brand, right? Not going to do that because I'm a fan of a certain broadhead, right? You don't even have to guess as to what I'm talking about there, because you hear me talking about it all the time. But I have my particular favorites, and like everybody else. But I can tell you, if you're looking at broadheads, these are not so they are not. They've got a switch in them too. These are not jangly. They're not coming out of there like the Rages, like my old Rages, right? Broadheads have come a long way. I get that. Oh, but they snap open. I bet I could snap that open. I'm not going to play with that because I'll hurt myself. If you see what I'm doing, they're in place, so I don't think they snap open. We can fire these at a target. I really like that chisel tip. I don't know if you can see that or if that's really showing up the way it should, but man, that's a nice chisel tip. I do like that. I'm a chisel tip fan. I'm a fanboy of chisel tips. But we'll put that back in there. Nice little case, too. I would keep the case, even after you use these things, I would keep the case because you can carry your used ones in here or you can carry your spares in here for next time. That's pretty slick. I don't know. I'm kind of impressed. I don't know what the price is. I'll try to put that on the screen to give you an idea what this stuff costs because they sent it to me for free and just asked me if I wanted to try them out. I'm like, yeah, I'm an arrow guy. But let's see what they weigh. It's important to me. If I screw one of my 150 grainers on here, 150 grain field point, and we will put this right here, And we're going to put that right on there and see how it goes. And kaboom, look at that, 450.9. That is a perfect hunting arrow weight for most modern crossbows. Certainly going to work good out of the SWAT X1. And I don't know, we might be shooting these bad boys on an upcoming bear hunt in Maine. I don't know. I'm up here in the crossbow balcony, loaded a Deepower arrow, right? I got 6 of them up here, got them laid out nicely across the railing. I'm gonna take a shot at 20 yards. This scope, I don't know where it's at, right? Just never shot it on this crossbow ever. It was on a different crossbow before, but it should be pretty easy to get it pretty dialed in, I think. I'll take the caps off because we're gonna need to adjust some stuff for sure. It's been a long time since I adjusted a speed ring scope, let me tell you what. I've estimated the speed on this thing, but we're gonna start with 20, of course, and start there. These arrows went right down the tube nice, went right down the barrel nice on the SWAT X1, so we're gonna see if it plays nice with them. Taking a little risk here. I don't recommend other people do this kind of stuff. I do this because I enjoy taking risks with arrows. Take a tour of the Bulldog at 20 yards. All right, we are high and left. The nock went off. It does not sound like it was a problem as far as shooting it out of this crossbow is concerned. All right, I drew it down far too much, according to that. I was trying to shortcut it and go down quite a bit, but we're gonna pull that back up. We'll turn it to the up, and we should be good to go. Arrow number 3, shooting at the center dot. And we hit the center dot. Look at that, 3 shots. We are dead on at 20 yards. Can't ask for better than that. Man, I miss shooting the SWAT. You know, the SWAT, I just love it. This crossbow, the old Patriot here, has a little bit of a history, a little bit of a story, but it is performing and it's living up to all of my expectations for it. And I kind of like these scopes. It's kind of fun to go back to an old vintage scope now and then. That's why I kept it around, right? All right, so we'll load this bad boy. Getting it lined up, very important with any nock. And you got to be careful with nocks. You really do. It's one of the easiest ways to have a problem with your crossbow. But this is going down the barrel real nice. You get it down in there, and then we just move our lever, and I'm moving it all the way down to make sure it drops all the way to the bottom of the barrel where it's supposed to be. I'm going to take a poke at 30 yards. I just changed the string on this crossbow too. I lubed it all up, greased it up with the Trident grease, and it's really, really liking it. It's really performing well. The grease, I've shaken off most of the grease that I put on there, and it's been hitting me in the face and I can feel it, but it is what it is. But now we're past all that. We're going to take a poke at 30 yards. No idea what this is going to do. I've got it on 410. This thing is nowhere near 410. I'm going to drop it down. Ooh! Man, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Not too shabby. Sighted in 3 shots. The arrows reacted pretty much the way that I thought they would. I'm confident that it's reacting to the scope properly. I've said this before. A lot of the gear that's on the market, the arrows, the crossbows, and whatnot, they shoot better in this day and age than I do. I really can't shoot well enough. So I can do an awful lot with my Bog Death Grip here. I really appreciate that. And I like a crossbow that likes the Bog Death Grip. Any crossbow that is a friend of the Bog Death Grip is a friend of mine. How about that? I really like shooting off this tripod, and this is my best version of me shooting. But it doesn't change the fact that I'm really not the best. You know, I'm not great. So we live in a great era as crossbow hunters. It is the golden age of crossbow hunting when pretty much the gear outshoots me, right? Like I'm just so thankful that we have access to this stuff for whatever the cost of these are. These are not the most expensive arrows in the world, but on the 3rd shot, I'm hitting the bullseye. Like, what more do you really want, right? Like, that's pretty good. 3rd shot, reacted nice to the scope. I'm happy with the consistency of these arrows. If you are interested in Deepower, you know, look at the link in the description, that kind of thing. And there you go. These are not too bad. I kind of like them. Will I hunt with them? I really want to hunt with the coral snakes that I made. right? I made these arrows and I still have never hunted with them. Probably won't hunt with these, but it's only because I've got other arrows that kind of got here first, if that makes any sense. So thank you for watching. Check out these arrows if you're interested, right? Check out the link in the description. Thanks for watching. All hail Bunjie.